you have the Sixers on your list, and I'm like, what is that?
I just put some
Why?
teams down, man.
That's
Put some
terrible.
teams down,
Terrible.
man.
Right? Sex.
Terrible.
Why?
You should be ashamed of yourself for that one.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Eye Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, the Lakers get a new owner. We're going to talk about the NBA draft and get you ready for it. And let's just say the WNBA, there's no ace up their sleeves. But first, NBA Finals. Now, I had Oklahoma City winning in 6 games, and I was hoping that we could do a Finals recap, but not so fast, my friend. They laid an egg in Game 6, and Game 7 is on as we speak or shortly thereafter. So I will just say, best player, best team wins. So with us today, I'm going to let everybody have their say on the NBA Finals before we kind of talk post-finals. Captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, any thoughts on the NBA Finals or good?
I think like we agreed. I think just like the 2005 finals, this was a final that wasn't very promoted very well, or it didn't have big names on it, but it's an amazing, amazing series. If you've been watching it, it's pretty good. I've liked it. I've been enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Being wrong about predictions are always the best because I can take it because at the end of the day, we get the best thing. Game 7, best words you have in the sports world in terms of playoffs. You can't get better than that. And that's what the NBA also needed. If you didn't get the Lakers, if you didn't get the Knicks, if you didn't get any big names, you needed 7 games. So I'm very excited to see the ending of this game. Um, I think the only reason that Pacers are really into this series is because for some reason OKC believes that Halliburton is not him. Like he's not a really good player. Like they treat him like he's not good. Like at best he's an all-star. And the guy goes out and same thing with Siakam. I don't think they truly believe that these guys can go out and drop buckets and change the game. Like they ain't done this before. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny to me. So I'll be excited to see for game 7 later tonight. I expect OKC to win comfortably. They're playing at home. Halliburton is still hurt. Everyone's healthy. They should know what they need to do. They win at home, but the ball's gonna bounce the way it bounces. So I'm excited to see what happens.
All right, academic and athletic consultant for the CK Save Project, George Acker. George, Game 7. It will already have been played. Any thoughts on the series, sir?
First and foremost, who said the Knicks were a marquee team or a big time team?
Stop playing. Stop playing the Knicks.
Who said,
Stop playing
who
the
said
Knicks
they
are
were?
not. Yo, the Knicks play
Why?
on Tuesday. The Knicks stop
Oh
playing.
my God! Here
Stop
we
playing.
go.
Even when
Here
they
we
were
go.
bad, they were
Somebody passed him a
marquee
tissue.
team.
Somebody passed him a tissue because he's been
Stop.
crying for years.
Stop it.
Anyway,
Man,
Good or
they share
bad, they were
Madison
on the
Square
prime
Garden
time of.
with St. John's. So I mean,
What do you mean?
and,
Hold on,
and,
hold on, hold on, hold on.
and they
The
both took
Knicks,
L's. They
the
both
Knicks
took
are a
L's.
prime time year, even if they're
Oh,
terrible. Say what you want. Yawn all you want. Your breath, whatever you're yawning. The
you
Knicks
can
are
bring in
prime time,
you
bro.
can bring in as many stars to sit courtside
Knicks
as you want.
Okay.
The round of basketball
time.
We
sucks.
we
All right,
will
anyway,
table the Knicks
going on to that.
conversation.
Going
There's
on.
people in
Any
Trinidad.
thoughts
There's people
about
in different
game?
countries who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching the
No,
Knicks.
no
I'm
more
watching the
Knicks
Knicks."
talk. We're not there yet. We will get back to them, though. George, any
I
thoughts on the
appreciate
I'll
series,
let G
sir?
talk.
the
My bad. Go ahead, do your thing.
series. Appreciate the series because the series has really kind of got back to old school basketball to me because it's been physical as hell out there, and I love it. I think tonight's a toss up. Everybody's saying that it's going to be OKC going to run away with this thing, but every time we thought OKC was going to run away, Indiana shows up. So I think it's a toss up tonight. Like we said, best player on the best team going to shine, and whoever's coming to shine in the night's going to be it. Halliburton. They say he's still hurt. He played decently or well enough for them to get a win. Key is Siakam. If Siakam gets hot, their OKC's in trouble. And my other thing is, where's Chet? I'm still on the lookout. Somebody put an
Playing
APB
like
out
a
for
rookie.
him.
Playing
Yeah,
like a rookie.
put an APB out for him because he hadn't shown up. He hadn't shown
All
up.
right. The one who got away, Danny Thompson. Danny, one, it's always good to see you. And two, any thoughts on the series, sir?
I mean, I called it to go 7 games. I said it when I was last on. I said, okay, I picked OKC in 7. I don't know if I'm strong on OKC winning tonight. And I'm saying that because George mentioned it. Where's Chet Holmgren at? He has not shown up in maybe 75% of these games. And then I don't know, and I don't know why Oklahoma City is sleeping on a guy like Pascal Siakam. He has a championship ring. He's been here before. And I think if Indiana pulls it off tonight, I would not be surprised if Siakam gets Finals MVP. The way he's been playing, especially one of the games, they were force feeding him. They were like, give him the ball, let him go to work, and he was destroying Oklahoma City's bigs, no matter what he did. And this is all I could ask for. Like I said, this is the basketball player's dream. Game 7 in the finals. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
All right. And our favorite administrator, Robert Abney. Bring some levity, Robert. Thoughts on the series? What are you thinking?
I have maintained all along that OKC was going to win. I still think that's going to happen. I can't even imagine what OKC is going to be like tonight. That arena. People were talking all serious about environment. I mean, it's gonna be unchained tonight, and I could be wrong, but I don't see how Oklahoma City doesn't manage to pull it out.
All right, Robert, I'm gonna stay with you. This is the end of the NBA season. So now we look to the draft. We'll talk about the individual players of draft in segment 2. But looking at the Eastern Conference, any team catch your eye in terms of, man, I think this is a team that somebody's got to watch next year. What are you thinking, sir?
Well, I mean, I think Indiana. I don't know. I'm not familiar with all their contract situations, but I mean, they're in a really good position to run it back. I think Boston clearly is going to take a step back. They won't have Jason Tatum for the vast majority of the year if they get him back at all. I will not be sold on Cleveland until Cleveland makes a trip to the finals. You have the Sixers on your list, and I'm like, what is that?
Well, I just put some teams down, man.
That's terrible.
Put some teams down, man.
Terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself for that one. Anyway, I mean, I think
Joel Embiid's a former MVP.
Yeah, that Detroit could be pretty good. I think those are probably, Indiana, Cleveland, Detroit. I would say those are going to be the 3 front runners if I had to guess.
All right, go ahead.
I was about to say, Robert, that's the same guy that was making us trying to sell us on Penn State all year last year. So you got to remember.
Don't get me started.
Yes.
All right, so I let Robert take care of the East because prior to taping, something happened in the West, and I'm going to let these guys have at it. Danny, a local fella who we all know and love, Kevin Durant is now going to be in Houston. Any thoughts about KD in Houston? The floor is yours, sir.
I don't know how I feel about Kevin Durant going to Houston yet, and only because
UT alum.
I'm right. He's a UT alum, but I'm looking at what they gave up to get him. Like I get what Houston is doing. They're building off of what they did this season, and the way they just said, you know what, we're going to sacrifice our future for the here and now. And many teams have done that in the past. Many teams have not succeeded in doing that either. So I'm not 100% sold on KD going to Houston. It's one of those moments where you have to wait and see what happens. I feel like they gave up too much. You gave up your 10th round pick for this year, and you gave up 5 future second round picks. You sent away your best player this year in Jalen Green. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Dylan Brooks is not a world beater, but he was almost like a veteran leader for that team this season, especially on the defensive end, no matter if you think he's a dirty player or not. This is one of those ones where you have to wait and see. I'm not sold on it, but and at the same time, I'm excited to see what they do with this.
All right, Cottonman. I said it was too much. What do you think?
Looking back on it, I think the Houston they did a little bit too much. I think they could have done what they could have ran it back with what they have in this season. They had a great team, young legs run free, run it again. There's really not a big dog in the West outside of OKC, in my opinion. They could have ran it back. And remember, this is the last year of KD's contract. So why not let him play it out? And then you would have had a chance. If you're getting desperate, then you can say, okay, let me bring in a Kevin Durant without losing anybody like Dylan Brooks or Jalen Green. I think it was a little they jumped the gun a little sooner than they should have. But and to be honest with you, the last two iterations of KD, he's failed greatly. Brooklyn, terrible. They didn't even make the finals. Phoenix, I don't even think they make the playoffs last year. So I think there are a lot of teams who, especially in this Houston, who believe in the KD aura rather than who is KD is now, who is 38 years old going to play. I forgot what year is it? 26. So yeah, you're in like your 15th or 16th year already. So I think they believed into the allure of KD, who he's been, the history who he's been, rather than who he's going to be the next 2 years. And they have to hope he's healthy, because if he's not healthy, then you're really in a hole. So I understand for them making that decision. It's a sexy decision that people are like, oh, KD, I love it, I love it. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the history, Houston didn't need to do this. They didn't need to do it at all. But we'll see what they have. But again, if he's healthy and he's KD and he's dropping 25, 27 points a game, 3 blocks, 7 assists, see them in the late spring for sure.
George, any thoughts on KD going to Houston?
I think the front office hit the panic button. That's what I think happened. I mean, right now the only NBA franchise that I look at that hasn't hit the panic button, they should have followed like what Detroit did. Detroit is filled with a bunch of young players. They've gotten better and better. Let me go back to your whole Sixers situation. With the process. So Detroit stayed with them. They haven't made any major changes. Houston was on that same trajectory. I don't know why they deviated and they gave up too many things. I mean, you're looking at what Jalen Green is 21, 22 right now, and he's up for being an all-star, and you're going to trade him for the 38-year-old. Okay, yeah, he had a great Olympics, but that doesn't mean anything. He's a trip away from blowing their Achilles again. I mean, I love KD. The Durantula is a bad dude, and he should get his respect. But I am not giving up the future of my franchise, because that's basically what they did. When you gave up Green, because he was an up and coming star. So I don't know. I don't know what they were. I think they panicked. That's what I think they did, and this doesn't push them over the top.
And quick question: if they had given up a little bit more, couldn't they have traded for Giannis?
They still have enough money to get Giannis, believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If they had added a little bit more onto that, they could have gotten Giannis.
But the thing about it is, if you keep going out, you keep trying to do this model of that quote unquote super team, and we got room for Giannis, you're gonna be in the same situation the Lakers were in. No bench, nobody else to fill out the roles and what's going on, and the younger players are gonna suffer. They're not gonna develop. That's what I loved about Houston, like I love about Detroit. It's a place where your younger players can mature, they can get some experience, and they get better. And they don't get better with the spotlight being taken over by somebody else taking up all the shots. I mean, I think they hit the panic button, and I don't think that was they felt like they were a lot closer than I think they really are. And when you add KD when you need to get over the hump, and Houston was not there just getting ready to get over the hump.
All right, Robert, close us out. What was the local news like as soon as it hit, or did it even get to your area as a big deal?
I haven't seen a thing. I mean, if you're asking me, do I think it's too much? Yeah. Unless KD gets him to the finals, and then it's worth it.
All right.
I don't know.
So fans, in segment 2, we'll talk a little bit about the Lakers not being mom and pop anymore and preview the NBA draft. And I'll just say a certain former player of mine said he didn't really care about those second round picks. We'll just leave it at that. We'll be right back. Okay. the Young Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student athlete success. I believe every student athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.cascasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, the Los Angeles Lakers, the end of an era. So for me, the WWE was a family-run business that is now corporate. And hey, they're supposed to be, let's just say, traveling overseas this week, and I don't think you should go. The Lakers were a family-run organization, and now they will probably become corporate, but maybe in a good way. Robert, you have watched the Lakers. We're around the same age, Showtime, Dr. Bus, all of that, and now they're moving into the 21st century. They're going to probably have an analytics department. They're probably going to do a whole lot of bells and whistle type things. What do you think about the Lakers becoming corporate America?
Well, in terms of, I mean, we were talking earlier. There are not a whole bunch of mom and pop organizations that still run professional sports teams because it's not really a feasible business model in the sense of being able to build a network of businesses that are going, that are sustainable. And, the Lakers for a long time, they've been run by the Buss family, and, you're competing with, across town with Steve Ballmer, who was worth $2 billion. He spent $2 billion on the Intuit Dome, so he doesn't have to share an arena with the Lakers. He's the eighth wealthiest person in the world, net worth of 130 billion. He can spend all kinds of money on his team. And, the Lakers have a bunch of championships and a bunch of history and a bunch of prestige to be able to compete with that. But you get to a point, young legs don't care about history and prestige. They want you to show them the money and show them the facilities and that kind of stuff. And that makes a difference, makes a huge difference.
All right, George, this is our era, man. My goodness, the Lakers are now going to be run by a person who has this as a part of a large portfolio. This is just a little blip on the screen for them, where the Buss family, that was it. What do you think about that, sir?
In this case, I'm excited to see what happens because the new principal head also heads the Dodgers, and they win. He is not about he ain't scared about writing a check to bring people in that he needs to get it done. I'm interested to see what he does with how much sway LeBron has. So that's one difference when you have a mom and pop organization. Your star player a lot of times has a lot of sway in that situation. In this situation, now that they're all corporate, not so much. So I'm interested to see how this all falls. You got a 40-year-old, and you got a team that's mired in uh, mediocrity, if you want to call it. So what changes are going to happen? And they're going to happen quick because that owner is not about coming in second. If you pay attention to baseball in any way, shape, or form, the Dodgers do not play around. They go after everybody because there's two destinations. It's either New York or LA. So it's about to become LA. So they everybody better buckle up because something's gonna happen and it's gonna happen quick.
All right. So, Danny, I remember on the recruiting trail, we talked a lot about the Lakers and Kobe and everybody else. Any
Yeah.
thoughts from the younger generation about the Lakers going corporate America?
I'm not surprised. I think to me, I think they're 5 years too late, honestly. Too many teams, like, okay, for instance, for when I was growing up, I was watching baseball, and I remember when the Oakland Athletics shifted from being about the ownership side of and went analytical. If the Lakers can pull this off, especially with the Dodgers owner now being the head of the team now, they can get it done. It's just a matter of who's he going to bring in because you got to remember, as much as he wants to throw money around, he can do that for the Dodgers. It's hard to throw money around in the NBA because you're not dealing with the same salary cap issues that you deal with in the NBA that you do in baseball. Baseball, there is no salary cap. You can throw around $400 million contracts out of nowhere, as you've seen with Shohei Ohtani and that large contract that made me question why did I play basketball for a minute. It's just what is he going to do? We're starting to see the mom and pop organizations die off. Very few mom and pop family organizations are still around. The Ursays are still left for the Colts. The Browns are still there for the Bengals, but at least to my knowledge, that's all I remember. So with the Lakers making this move, I want to see what they do. I want to see how much sway LeBron is going to have now that there's new ownership going on. It's just a matter of what are they going to do at this point? Because, like you said, this has been a team of mediocrity outside of 2020. We
Uh,
don't know we don't know what they're going to do at this point. So I'm scared, but I'm intrigued at the same time.
all right, Will, I'm going to end this with you because we have a special, unique relationship with the Lakers. I think you went to the game where I said we have top-notch seats,
Top.
top-notch tickets.
But he
We
meant, but he
saw
meant
Shaq and Kobe,
top
baby.
of the stadium. He meant top of the stadium. It wasn't top price. We was definitely the top of the stadium right there. That's what you meant.
So, any thoughts as we wrap this segment up? We'll talk about the draft in segment three. What do you think about the Lakers going corporate, sir?
I think everybody said what needed to be said. I think the biggest thing is, are the new ownership ready to understand that the Lakers fans just want to win? They don't care how they do it. They want to win. Whether it's be trades, whether it's draft, whether it's free agents, whether it's whatever it is, they want to win. It's similar. It's similar. And at some point, people will get tired of it a lot quicker because they're like, hey, well, you get a championship. Look at the Yankees. The Yankees have got, we've had a new Steinbrenner since the last 10, 15 years. And fans have been like, yo, get rid of these dudes. These dudes are thinking antiquated. These guys are not doing it the right way they need to do. They're not bringing in the second arms that they need to do. So at the end of the day, we just want to win. I don't care I don't care who's running the check. I don't care who's writing that check saying who's we go. Get me some wins. And I think that's what Lakers fans are going to stick with and say, look, I don't care if it's, Boo Boo the Fool. I don't care if it's Will. I don't care if it's George or Danny. I don't care who owns the Lakers. Get me some wins. Do it in a way that's going to work in this future NBA that's right going on because the way that they were running is not going to work. I think they're going to respectively I think they'll hold on to LeBron. I think this will be the first time that nobody really extends that extension to LeBron, which would be like shocking to him. But he's getting older, he's becoming way more expensive. And at the end of the day, you want to make your own team yours. So, if you want Luka to be your feature player, get rid of LeBron, feature Luka. So all they have to do is win. winning cures everything. So I know you changing everything, but at the end of the day, if you don't win, people are going to be pissed off, whether the previous owner or the new owner. If you're not winning, they're not going to love it. So
Hey, Keith, what I will say, close up real quick. Loyalty has always been a big thing with those mom and pop run organization. There's nothing loyal in this corporate situation, especially if you look at the Dodgers, because once they hit a certain age, it's time to go, and we're going to go on to a different direction. So that really plays in the point about what's going to happen
That's
with LeBron.
not entirely true.
Who you got, Robert? Who you got?
Clayton Kershaw.
Oh yeah, well they did let him
Okay,
stay.
so there's
He's
him,
done.
but you also need
that
to
guy's playing
remember.
baseball, you said?
So, but here's so years ago, the Dodgers had a really good young outfielder by the name of Andrew Tolles. Okay, he's a really good player, and he just disappeared. Well, he disappeared because he's suffering from mental health issues, and right now he's basically homeless. And what the Dodgers have done every year since he left the organization, basically, is they sign him to a contract to make sure that he has benefits so he can go see doctors, he can get medicine, he can get help. They can't get him off the streets, but they do try to take care of him. So there's a little bit, but in the end, yeah, it's a business.
I think that when I was saying that, and I remember I read all about that Toll story. They're injured players the Dodgers have been loyal to, because that's how Kershaw stayed for so long. But with that's why I want to see with LeBron. He's not injured. He's not anything. He's not seen as a true Laker. So what do you do?
All right, and Will, I think you appreciate the game more so that we sat together than if we sat separate. But I think you left and sat down front. All right, so when we get back in segment 3, we'll actually talk about draft previews. Sorry about that, WNBA. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here, and for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. It's KD's fault. That's why we lost time on a segment. So in segment 3, the NBA draft is on Wednesday and Thursday this week. June 25th is the first round starting at 8, and June 26th is the second round starting at 8. I'm very happy that the NBA draft is over 2 days, because now we ain't got to stay up till midnight watching if so-and-so, gets drafted or not. So, Danny, I'm going to start with you. Is there any particular team or draft pick you are looking forward to seeing where they go?
One guy comes to mind, and that's Ace Bailey. But what hit me with this year's draft is the draft starts after the first pick, because what is San Antonio going to do with that second pick? There's rumors that they could trade that pick to go get Giannis. I've seen mock drafts. they want them to go get Dylan Harper. I think you go get Ace Bailey instead. The difference between the two, I've watched their games closely this season. Ace is a capable shot maker. Dylan is super athletic and is a crafty finisher, not the best shot creator when it comes to his offense. Ace Bailey can give you great off ball defense. Dylan Harper cannot. And I'm saying it not only because of the mock draft that you sent us in the list that had Dylan Harper, said a couple of mock drafts had Dylan Harper going two. I think Ace Bailey will be the better pick. He's the one I'm looking out for. And then what are teams going to do with Derek Queen? I'm intrigued to see exactly where he goes and who's going to pick him up and how's his development going to be. Because everybody's trying to compare him to Domantas Sabonis, and I just don't see it just yet. But that's just one of the things that's a wait and see for me.
Okay. Will, who either a team you're following their draft or a player you're looking at?
Man, I mean, when you're picking 6, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, you're going to be back here next year anyway. It don't matter.
Oh,
You'll be back in the lottery. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that they've looking at Jeremiah Fears. He's a point guard.
He's talking about the Wizards fans. I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah. I'm one of the one person who's going to talk about this guy.
Why would you do that to yourself?
He does it every year.
Damn.
I have to have some winning teams. So I am a Yankees fan. So I need some wins, you know what I'm saying, in my life. And recently, thanks for the Commanders, we're included. But apparently I'm a sadist and I just love the pain. Why don't you take a run at Derek Queen? Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, the kid is 6'10", he's versatile, he can dribble, he can shoot, he can shoot, he can get all his shot when he needs to. You know what I'm saying? Why not? And he's a local guy. Why not take him to Baltimore? He went to University of Maryland. Why not take a shot of him against like a 6'4" point guard who fits the average build? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And plus, if you're talking about ceiling, Derek Queen's ceiling is much higher than this kid. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that they would at least take a chance to say, hey, let me get Derek Queen. Why not? At the end of the day, you're going to have a local kid who's going to root for this guy. But I really don't see, unless this Wizards GM can see the winners and just because I don't see any outside of the fifth pick. You're not getting much. Take Derek Queen, man. Why not do it? Why not? I mean, I would take him over the kid they want, Jeremiah Fears, just because I think it would be a better fit for them. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they say he's more dynamic. I don't know that when you're 6'10", you can dribble and shoot and do all these things. I thought that was dynamic too. But maybe I'm just not the guy who's
You're putting a lot of stock in the Wizards making a smart decision.
Thank you.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
George.
Hey, look, team? Those tickets are still cheap. I can still go see the games. I can sit close to the floor.
You can sit close to the floor.
Give me like 3-4 more years for being bummed out, and then we'll talk about playoff. But I'm good with it right now.
We won't talk about playoff.
George, what you got, man? Team or player you're watching?
Honestly, man, the Ace. I want to see what happens with Ace since he's playing the Eli Manning card right now, making Russian roulette on what teams that he gonna actually work out for. But what I'm real interested to see is that after I want to see because 4 out of the 5 starters for Duke could get drafted in the first round. So I want to see where they all go. Kneppel, I want to see where Malawach ends up because Malawach's going to be a good situation for some team because he's a rim protector, he rebounds, he does well. And then the other kid, the point guard, I want to see where he goes. So it's going to be interesting because they could have 4 out of their 5 starters drafted this year.
All right, so I'm leaving this with you, Robert. You got Dallas with the first pick. You got San Antonio with the second pick. You're our Texas correspondent. Any news coming across your desk at the palatial estate? What are you thinking about the NBA draft?
All I'll say is if the Mavericks manage to that there will be riots in downtown Dallas.
I believe it. God.
My
Literal
gosh.
the Spurs, I'm hearing less. I haven't even heard who they're working out. But I mean, it looks to me like after about the top 4, there's a drop off. So I think if the Spurs wind up, I prefer Ace Bailey to Dylan Harper myself. I think if the Spurs wind up with Ace Bailey, I think if they get either one of those two, that's as good as they can get. They have a pick later on in the first round. Wouldn't surprise me to see them package those 2 picks and go try to make a run at somebody.
All right, so fans, for me, please get Dairy Queen to an older team because young players with young players equal young problems. I need some old heads around them to make sure that they're good. So I'm rooting for the kid, but that's me in the draft. I do want to see where he goes, and I hope he goes where some old heads are because a bunch of youngsters tend to mess things up sometimes.
Coach,
So,
all heads at this point are 28 years old. That ain't old no more.
it is now because that
That's
28-year-old has been in the league for 10
Oh,
years.
yeah, God.
You already been in the league by 10 years by now.
Yeah,
That's true.
28, that's 10 years in the league, dog.
Yeah. So, on behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and/or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.